promotion. You know, as some of you know, I work in PR and promotion as well, so I might chime in myself, if that's okay. So I'm going to ask our panelists to just introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what their role is in the music industry. So, Evange, why don't you start out?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Evangelia Livanos. Everyone calls me Evange. I am new to California, just moved here in January from New York City. I've been in the music industry for 16 years. I started as a booking agent, and then I got into artist management and worked for different firms throughout the years. I've worked with Slipknot, Stone Sour, Wolf Mother, a lot of big guitar bands, and then I also worked for a lot of punk bands on my own. Got a gig out here working for Crown Talent and Media Group. They're a UK-based management company that do a lot of pop acts, such as Jessie J. And they kind of gobbled up my firm called Synergy Artist Management, and I managed 6 bands myself under Crown Talent and Media Group. And when I was in New York City, I also ran a nonprofit called Women in Music, which I'm no longer involved with being out here, but it's still surviving and thriving in New York City. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, and Karen?
Hi, I'm Karen Webb, and I run PR Squared Public Relations. I'm relatively new in the music business. I have been working with artists on and off for about 3 or 4 years. I do a lot of consulting with Robo Records, which actually there's the head of it, Rob Christie, in the house.
Our new token mail for the morning.
But I've been in PR for about 13 years. I started out in marketing and advertising, and I worked with a lot of professional athletes, and I kind of transitioned to PR because I saw a change in the industry in terms of how people were buying, because I used to work with a lot of consumer products and again in conjunction with athletes. So I transitioned to PR and moved out here about 13 years ago and started working in fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, and started to work with a lot of talent. And from there, again, kind of Rob, when he started his label, I started to work with a lot of his artists, and he deals with a lot of heritage artists. Heritage artists meaning artists and bands that have been around for a while. A lot of them have had previous #1 hits. So those are folks like the Mickey Dolans of the Monkees, Al Jardine of the Beach Boys. We're working with Orianthi now. As you know, she's one of the guitarists that was slated to be on the This Is It tour, and she's also had quite an impressive repertoire of music and success herself. We've also worked with John Waite, Sheila E., that caliber of artist. So again, what my role is at PR Square in conjunction with Robo Records is really to help artists with branding, and to help them with media outreach. A significant amount of the work that I do is reaching out to the media, both in print, online, and electronic being TV and blogs and websites and things like that. So that's primarily what I've done and who I work with. So thank you for having me here today.
Thanks. And Pauline? We got to see Pauline play last night.
Oh my gosh. I would like to redeem myself maybe tonight because it was a little bit. But anyways, I'm Pauline. I do PR for Fender, the guitar company. I studied public relations in San Diego State University, and as you saw yesterday, I'm also a guitar player. So when I was in college, I was about 23, I merged my passions for guitar and public relations and founded my company, Guitar and PR. And a few years later, while still in college, I learned of an opportunity at Fender, and I was offered an internship at the PR department for Fender while in college, which really was a dream come true. But I learned how to market myself, I learned how to brand myself, which I'm going to talk to you about. And when I was hired, my boss said, you know, we hired you because we saw you could do PR for yourself, and we figured you could do PR for us. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that.
Thank you. So I actually want to talk, maybe Pauline, you could start just a little bit of like what the definition of PR is, because I think people don't completely understand like what PR encompasses.
Yeah,
So.
you know, it's funny because I've been doing this. I'm the newbie of the group here. I've been doing it for about 5 years, but my mom still doesn't know what I do. But that's why we're here. PR is multifaceted. We do a lot of things, but essentially what we do, we're the middle women between our clients and the press, meaning a lot of things. We seek story opportunities, but we don't just wait and wait to hear from Rolling Stone or Wall Street Journal, right? We're actively seeking for opportunities to get you covered in magazines that make sense. So that's in a very succinct manner. That's how I would define it.
Can I
You
just
wanna
jump
add
in?
to that?
The way that I have always described PR for people who don't understand, because a lot of people really don't understand the difference between marketing, advertising, and PR. Marketing is what you say about yourself. PR is what other people say about you. So that the other people are the media. So that's kind of just for me, that's kind of the easy way of describing what we do kind of from a PR perspective. Is we're trying to help influence what other people say about you.
Right. Yeah, and just to add a little bit, advertising, you pay for it. PR, you earn it.
Yeah, I think people think, oh, PR is free, but there's so much time involved in doing PR the right way. It's your time that you're spending, or your publicist's time, or you're paying your publicist. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, from my standpoint as a manager, I employ publicists. Usually, I tend to not go with the in-house people at the record labels that I work with. I like to get a publicist that's kind of specific to the type of band that I'm working with. Because there's a lot of publicists in the music business that some of them are really good in the hard rock world, some of them are really good in the pop punk world, some are really good in metal, and so I need to know which one is going to do best for my artist, to find them press opportunities, to get the record everywhere, to get people talking and writing about it, to get stories for them. So it's a little different because I end up hiring other people versus doing it myself.
I think that's important to think about. I'm actually a journalist as well, so I get pitched by publicists. Karen sends me stuff, and so does Pauline. But from my perspective, and I was talking to Pauline about this last night. When I get a pitch they know that I write about women that play guitar, and they write the pitch to me saying, "Hey, Laura, I know I've read your column in Guitar World, and yeah, I've got this great female guitarist." Like, you wanna work with a publicist who knows the right people, knows who does what, like is in that world, so that they're gonna be the most effective for you. So that's like, finding that right person is really important. Not every publicist knows the right editors for what you're doing. So I just want to talk a little bit about, so we have a lot of independent artists here, and what kind of materials do they need to have together to be able to share with the media to be the most effective in sort of pitching what they do? So
I think first of all, you have to have a compelling story. That's when we know that you're ready to have a publicist. You have to have a compelling story. You have to have your act together. You obviously have to have good music, which you all do have. You also have to have a really important understanding of what public relations is for two reasons. You want to make sure that the publicist that you're hiring serves you well, and you need to know also what to expect. So I would just say have all those things together, and a good understanding of really what we do, because we're not, there's a misconception, we don't make miracles happen, but so I would say.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
I would say if you're starting out and you're trying to kind of do some of the initial type of press things yourself, I would say try to put together, or either hire a writer or work with somebody who can help you put together some press materials. Create a bio on yourself. Again, like Pauline said, make sure it has something that's newsworthy or interesting. I suggest too, and I know we'll get a little bit later to some of the tools, but one of the easiest things that I think in terms of putting together an electronic press kit that every artist can do on their own is to find a website and a tool kind of like a Power Press kit. And what that allows you to do is it kind of helps you create the building blocks of what you need. And you can include not only a bio and some press things that you may have written about yourself, but it also allows you to include some SoundCloud links to your music, links to videos, and some other important stuff. You can embed a link and send it directly from that site to an editor. One of the things that we may get to, but you can't put a lot of attachments when you're sending to editors. So if you are reaching out on your own in the initial stages before you hire a publicist, you want to make sure you do things the way that a journalist wants to receive them. They don't want attachments. So something like a Power Press Kit helps you create some of the materials that you need in a way that they can view it, in a way that's easy for them to view it. So go to something like a Power Press Kit. It kind of walks you through what you need to create and allows you to send it to journalists in a way that's digestible and in a way that they want to receive it.
Is that the website, powerpresskit.com?
It is. It's powerpresskits.com.
Evange, what do you do for your band?
I mean, I think for me it's a little different because by the time they come to me, they already have something going on. So it's a little different than, because it's also, the question is, when do you need a manager? And I think it's when there is some sort of buzz happening, when you're performing out and people are talking about you, that's kind of when I start paying attention to an artist. Like I'm working with an unsigned pop-punk band right now. Sold 25,000 records on their own, and just did half of Warped Tour, and I headlining the East Coast, doing 200, 250 kids a show with zero promotion, zero press, zero marketing, because it's just the tipping point for that particular artist, and people are writing about them. For me, when I have an artist that's just a baby band, and they're brand new, and they just have a little EP out, and they've only done their tri-state area or their hometown, I wait for there to be something to talk about, whether that's a full US tour that they did and it was a flop, and then they release another record and it's received well. It all depends on just, I think, where the artist is at. You'll know, like, when your Facebook and your social media is picking up, that you might want to start having somebody on your behalf reaching out to get you exposed, even if it's in the regional markets. Like if you just play LA a lot and you have like a residency, you're going to want